Hello, and welcome to Metal Vice, a podcast where we talk about all things music.
Well, the things we care about.
That's right, which is mainly metal music and live music. I'm your host, Brian, joined with the other host,
Karen.
And for this episode, we're going to be talking about the time recently that we saw two concert tours in one day.
Two tours, one day.
Two tours, one day. Before we dive into that, though, just a couple housekeeping items at the top of the episode. You can always reach out to us through our email, which is metalvice1@gmail.com. Our YouTube page, if you're listening to this on audio only, there's a video version, in quotes. There's a video there's definitely a video version. You can see our face talking. Our face is talking, yes. You can leave comments on there as well. Also, Instagram at metalvice1. Definitely message us there as well. So those are the three main ways that you can get in contact with us, or just seeing us at shows. Come up and talk to us as well.
Yeah, we've had people do that.
All great ways to communicate and chat with us. But as I said, or as we said, this is two tours one day. And this was the Sepultura tour and the Cradle Filth tour. Both of those tours came through Chicago. And I wanted to really go to both of them, but I think we just couldn't make both of them work because there's a bunch of shit going on. However, when we were at Milwaukee at the Rave for the Behemoth show, was it?
Oh, I can't remember.
We were out there for a show.
No, it wasn't Behemoth. That was too soon. It was like in February.
Or whatever show it was. I can't remember. It was an ad there where they had both of those concerts on the same day. And we're like, what the fuck is this all about? And sure enough, it was... They just sort of melded those two concerts together. Because
at the time we couldn't go... Well, we weren't going to go to Cradle of Filth here in Chicago because it was the same night as Chaos and Carnage.
Yes.
And I wanted to go to Chaos and Carnage. However, we didn't buy tickets to that. And luckily we didn't because it got moved to Joliet.
The Forge. We don't like driving out there to the Forge.
No. So and it was a Tuesday night. I'm not driving out there on a Tuesday night.
Right. But we would have gone to that if it wasn't Chicago.
Yeah, so that was the Cradle of Filth one. Sepultura, I could not remember why.
I really wanted to go to it, and I think we decided just not to go to that one when both shows were listed at the Rave. Because I really wanted to go to the Sepultura one because this is their final tour. I think the tour name, let me look that up real quick. The Sepultura tour name is Celebrating Life Through Death. And, well... Sepultura is sort of on their final tour, our final tour. We saw them in Chicago, I don't think last year,
I think
2 years ago, as part of their final tour. And I thought it'd be funny to see them on their final tour and then 2 years later on their other final tour again through Chicago.
I just can't, do you have the date of the Sepultura show?
It was.
Or is it tonight?
No, it was in the past. It was 5/21, May 21st.
That's tonight as we're recording. So that must not be the date.
Oh, that was the Denver show. Sorry. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't remember why before we bought these tickets to see this show, why we weren't going to make the Sepultura show here in Chicago.
See, I kind of remember that we were possibly going to make it. Was it on the list
and we just didn't buy tickets?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
It was one of those.
Okay.
All that to say, when we saw they were combined at the Rave, we love the Rave. We're like, fuck it, let's go check this out. Prices for the Rave show... We actually got as part of a BOGO deal. So we must have bought this online or something. Whatever, I don't remember. But it came out to be a total of $26 a ticket with $14.32 in fees, $3.19 in tax. And that fee rate, of course, is 55% because the ticket price is less, but the fee rate is the same.
So we did buy these online. We saw the ad when we were buying the Apocalyptica tickets in February.
Okay.
At the box office because we were there for another show. And then when we got home, we were like, yeah, let's do it. And then we looked online and they were BOGO. So we got the BOGO tickets.
It must have been that Oriculture show in March because that's, I think, the first show we saw at the Rave. So that's maybe when we saw it. We probably, because we got our tickets at box office for Orbit Culture.
And then we bought the Apocalyptica ones that night.
Right, and saw the ad then.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's probably when it was. Whatever, this is hard to remember like when we saw the ad and whatnot. Yeah. But long story short, we saw the ad. We said, all right, cool, let's combine these two tours together. $26 for two tours.
Yeah.
Really good.
Really good.
I did go and look up the prices too. So the Sepultura tour, as I said, was Celebrating Life Through Death. They played the Ramova Theater here in Chicago, a theater we still have not been to.
No, we haven't yet, yeah. And
that was one of the reasons we were going to go to that, or wanted to go to that as well, to check that out. But when I put this outline together, after we saw this, That show had passed, so we can't look up those exact tickets. There was a show in Denver, as we said, tonight as of this recording. The ticket prices for that show were $40.34, $14.66 in fees. The Cradle of Filth one, which the tour name is Majestic in Death, they were playing Bottom Lounge here in Chicago, which I thought was really fucking weird, because the last time we saw them was at the Radius,
yeah,
as part of Chaos and Carnage last year. And the Bottom Lounge is so much smaller. So I was really interested or curious to see how that was going to feel in that venue. But those tickets were $38.50 with $10.88 in fees. So this one show at the Rave was less than both of those shows. Either one of those.
Because even if we didn't get the BOGO, it would have been like, what, $52? So,
yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit more than the two shows put together, but it was still less than the two shows put together.
Yeah. And like I said, it was just sort of melding those two concerts together. So the headliner was Sepultura, then Cradle of Filth. Then your openers are Exodus, Suffocation, Biohazard, with Ghost Breath, Tribal Gaze, Ghost Bath, Tribal Gaze, and Cultist Black. And those are listed in the order that we saw them.
Yeah, so we started with Cultist Black and then went up.
Worked our way up.
Yeah.
But basically, Cradle of Filth and their tour, which consisted of Cradle of Filth, Suffocation, Ghost Bath, and Cultist Black, were all on the basement stage at the Rave, where Sepultura, Exodus, Biohazard, and Tribal Gaze were all on the second stage at the Rave. And yeah, I was kind of surprised that it was second stage, basement stage.
Yeah, I think that I'm assuming they didn't have enough to make the ballroom feel full, but I think there was more people than should have been shoved into the second stage. I don't know if that makes sense.
The second stage definitely got packed. The basement got a little packed in the center. We would always move all the way over to stage right, and there's always enough room. And you got a decent view of the stage.
Yeah, just sideways of the stage, so you were like looking through the side.
The thing with both of those stages that I don't like is if you're not like center, it's kind of hard to see because there's pillars holding up the roof or the next floor up. Yeah. So if you're not like right in the center or right by one of those pillars, you kind of get an obstructed view of the stage.
Yeah. And on the second stage, I kind of realized that if you go around all the way by the bar that's on stage right, that you could kind of see through the pillars there. Yeah. Or like there's like two walkways right there, and so you kind of had to like look through both of them. But we were able to see for most of it there for the last two bands, probably Exodus. Yeah, Exodus and Sepultura. Yeah.
Yep.
Because otherwise, like our other place that we normally stand there is by the sound stage, but both nights or both bands, like that was already full by the time we got in there. Because we did go out and like sit between bands. We would go sit outside.
Yeah, because they had like I think the beer garden, they're calling it, or something, open with a bar out there. There are food trucks out there as well. The merch was in the bar stage, so if you wanted to go check out the merch, you can go check that out as well.
Which is the second time that they've done that now.
Yeah.
What was the other show that...
Behemoth,
yeah.
was in there.
Yeah. It's a good idea to do that.
It is.
Instead of putting it in those little cubbies in the back. Thing. Yeah. And it helps with the flow back there, too.
It does, yes.
Yeah.
Assuming that is not used for another stage, because sometimes it is.
It is sometimes, yeah. But like when they don't have a stage there, it's kind of nice. And then they can open up that bar also for other people.
So I was thinking about why they would mix these two concerts together. Like Cradle of Filth is sort of its own little niche, and you can definitely tell there are people there for one concert or the other.
Yeah.
But they did sort of bleed over because it's like you had only one band at a time. So it was really good to see your band play for 30 minutes, go take a 10-minute break outside, then go back into the next band for the next 30 minutes, and so on and so forth. So there was a really good flow to the timing of these bands.
I thought so too.
But you could definitely tell who was there for what particular concert.
And they did give like 10 minutes in between each band, right? Yeah. Which was nice.
But yeah, you had that bleed over. At the end of the night when Cradle of Filth got over, there were definitely people who left after that. We left a little bit after Sepultura because we were driving home.
We were driving home. Yeah, we didn't stay in Milwaukee.
Chicago.
Yeah.
And there were other people walking out along the same time we were.
Yeah. We would have probably stayed. I mean, if we stayed in Milwaukee, we would have stayed for the whole thing.
For sure, yeah.
It's still 2 hours for us to get home. So it was like, let's get going.
And that was the initial plan, to stay in Milwaukee, because the very next night was The Who and Apocalyptica. And lost my job at the beginning of May, and like, fuck it, we just can't afford to get a hotel and stay. Like,
Yeah.
well, it's not the smart thing to do.
Right. It's not that we can't afford it. We have money, but
Yeah.
it's not to use money when we don't need
Exactly.
to.
So that's why we decided, all right, we'll just drive up for this show and then drive back down.
Yeah. And this was a long weekend because we also did Dark Lord Days the day before.
We did, yeah.
And then this was a full day of concert the second day. So it was a lot.
Yeah, definitely a lot. I got the vibe, but anyway, like I was saying, like it was weird to me that they melded these two concerts together. A part of me the next day I was thinking about this is, was this their way to do sort of a soft opening for Milwaukee Metal Fest? Getting ready, getting new staff in there to train them up on like what it might be like to have people going between the floors.
Stages. Yeah.
You're going to be staffed up for Milwaukee Metal Fest, obviously. So let's get some new people in there. That was one thought in terms of like why they would do it so close.
Okay. My thought was that the promoters were like, oh, we would like to play the Rave because we've talked, especially talking to previous members of Exodus, being like, oh, every time we are on tour, we want to play the Rave. Like, it doesn't really matter. So that could be a part of it.
Yeah.
But that they were like, both their promoters were like, we want to play the Rave. These are the dates we have available. And then they saw, oh, both of them have this Sunday available. Because we've been there before when there's multiple shows.
Yeah.
So potentially they were like, hey, this is a way to combine that. Because they were probably like, in Milwaukee, we probably do not have the clientele to do two big metal shows in one night. Like if they did it as two separate shows.
Yeah. Also, the fact that they're both in Chicago within the week of that show, you typically don't see that.
Yeah. So being like, but hey, we could do a all day thing and combine them together, and then get a portion of it or whatever.
It could be any number of things. Yeah. I don't know
Yeah.
what the answer is. Like the only other time we've been here where it's been this sort of mini festival type thing was Summer Slaughter last year. Which that was our first time where they did that sort of mini festival at the Rave, and it was kind of fun then too.
I do like doing this at the Rave versus like when we did Chaos and Carnage at the Radius, where there's only one stage, because you don't have that long 30 minutes in between every band. It's like we've already said, we would go outside for 5-10 minutes and then go in and see the next band's already on.
Yeah, I really like the multi-stage aspect where they can easily, as soon as the band gets over, you now start to have the crowd funnel to that next stage where you can do the rotation, the changeover, and by the time they get back to your stage, you're ready to go.
Yep, it's ready to go on. Yeah,
it kept the timing like in lockstep. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. So same with Summer Slaughter, I liked that too because there was always something to do. Where Summer Slaughter, they only put 5 minutes in between each band, and I like this with the 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah.
So not saying that like they learned from Summer Slaughter, but maybe they did.
Yeah.
But the 10 minutes is nice. So, and probably for people who wanted to buy food and drinks and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
They probably made more money that way because
sure.
otherwise 5 minutes isn't enough to go get food.
Go get your smoke. Go get your drink and whatnot. Yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to call out about like the setup and whatnot before diving into the bands?
No. You did say like the bands that were on the second stage and the basement stage, and I did think that was kind of weird that like Cradle of Filth headlined the basement stage. I just feel like that's low for them.
Yeah.
A small area for them. How about I say it that way?
No, I agree. And that's sort of the same thing here in Chicago with them going to the bottom lounge. It's like,
that's true.
what's going on?
Yeah.
But also they've had issues in the last year or so.
They have.
With band members leaving and calling them out on some shady shit and whatnot.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and they are sort of a niche of a music style as well. So I was shocked by that it was basically the basement stage was the Cradle of Filth tour and the second stage was the Sepultura tour. I assumed they would mix those together more, where it would be Cradle of Filth then Sepultura on the on like the main stage.
Yeah, like the two headliners, like they would put like two or something.
Right, and then like Cultist Black and Tribal Gaze would be down on the other stage.
Yeah, it was really nice that you saw a Cradle of Filth band and then a Sepultura band.
Yeah.
And what I mean is from the tour. And then you would have Cradle of Filth again and then Sepultura. So it wasn't like they, like gave all of Cradle of Filth only 30 minutes. But that was something that really sucked, is because even like Suffocation only got 30 minutes.
Yeah, there was like a reduced set for most everybody. I think Cradle of Filth and Sepultura were the only two who kept their own. Maybe
Exodus too, probably, because I think they had 50 minutes.
Yeah.
So, which is probably just a signing thing for Exodus.
Probably.
Because of the size. But yeah, for every other band to only get 30 minutes. I mean, Suffocation called it out. They're like, I know we have to do a shortened set tonight. So I guess that would be a plus to come see it or if we would have saw it here in Chicago, we would have gotten that 45, 50-minute set.
I'm interested. I'll look at the set list later on to see how different they actually are. Maybe we'll do that when we get to it here.
Yeah.
That's a good call out. Let's check that out when we get to there. But first, I guess we have to start with Cultist Black.
Yeah.
Who we saw as part of a Cradle of Filth. No,
Static X.
Static X and Fear Factory a few years ago.
So I'll read off the set list and then we'll talk about that. They start with Dissonance, Killing the Beautiful, Lorelei, Nevermind, Venom, Negative Creep, which is a Nirvana cover, and then they ended with You Make Me Sick. So you did say that we've seen them before.
Yeah.
I really haven't seen much about them recently. Anyways, I know that they played a couple festivals, like maybe last year or 2 years ago, but otherwise, like, I haven't seen that they came through Chicago. Not saying they haven't, I just haven't seen it.
Yeah.
And also, when we first saw them, I think it was 3 years ago now that we saw them, right?
I can't remember, 2022 or 2023.
Yeah, we looked it up. But when we saw them, I loved them immediately.
Yep.
And I was listening to them a lot. And then it just fell out of the rotation. But they did ask, or they did say, oh, it's been a few years since we've came through the area. Now, I don't know if they went to Milwaukee during that, or if it was just meaning Chicago area or Madison or something like that. But when they were like, who's seen us before? And I raised my hand. I don't know if you did, or I was like, ooh, sort of thing. But there was very barely anybody who
have seen them before.
Seen them before. So, I mean, it's great that all these people got to see it, because there was a lot of people there for Cultist Black.
There were a lot of people super fucking into it. Yeah. It was awesome to see.
Yeah. So it's great that they have this this many people, or this view on on everybody. That didn't make sense.
No, it didn't. Try saying that again.
It's great that they have this opportunity to be in front of so many people.
That's performing. Not what you said the first time. All right, that makes a little bit more sense there.
Maybe you could edit that in a better way.
Well, I probably won't.
No,
we'll
you
see.
won't. You'll be like, Karen sounds stupid. Let's leave it in there. But when they started playing, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. I really like their music, and I'm like, why did I stop listening to them? And I think it just fell out of the rotation.
Right. Your style of music has also changed quite a bit since then. They're not super deathcore. No. They're kind of, they've got a Slipknot vibe to them, a sound to them,
a new metalcore vibe.
Yeah,
is how
that's a good way to
put
put it.
But the Slipknot vibe, yes. Yeah. Definitely with the performance, too.
Yes.
You can see that with the drummers and how they act on stage and how
I love their performance, too, with, their masks on and just, this shadowy figures.
Yes.
I love their look when they're on stage. I don't remember the two vocalists last time.
Oh, I do.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, I do. Because we were at House of Blues, and I feel like we were pretty close to the stage, too.
We were, yeah.
I mean, House of Blues, if you're in that little bowl, you're pretty close to the stage. But yeah, I remember the two vocalists.
Okay.
There's the really skinny guy, and then the other guy that does.
There's the two vocalists, and then one of the drummers will come in and do vocals as well.
Yep.
Because there's two drummers. There's one who only has toms, or the stand-up. I think those are toms.
They're toms. Yeah.
And then the actual kit.
Yeah. Which I couldn't see the drum kit really from where we were standing, because we were kind of off. We weren't off to the side there, were we? Yeah, we were. Yeah.
We weren't as far over as we were, as we had discovered we could be.
Yeah.
But no, their performance was fucking awesome. I need to listen to more of their shit as well.
Yeah.
It's fun. I just liked their show. I like their set. I like their look. I like the energy they have on stage. It's great. I want to see them again.
Yeah. And they're a band that, when they're done performing, they will be at the merch table and take photos with you, sign things, and all that. We saw that when we walked through the merch, that there was the two drummers were there.
So the very first time we saw them at House of Blues, they said the same thing. And I think we did an episode on that, and we talked about that. We went and bought a shirt, and then we just quietly left. And we could have said something like, fucking awesome set. Thanks for doing what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. We could, there's so many things we could have said. We need to get better at that. And this time, we walked through the merch, and they were still there. And I saw they were there, and I quickly turned around. I was I'm not talking to you. Nope. I'm sorry. But I will say, we walked through the merch a few times, especially later in the night. We walked through the merch on our way to see Sepultura. And they were still fucking
they were
there.
Yeah.
They were the first band that went on at like 1:30
Yep.
in the afternoon. It's now 9 o'clock at night, and they're still there in their like get-ups and their stage presence and whatnot. Still there, still talking to fans, still taking photos. And I was like, holy fuck, like this is a band that it's just a matter of time before they break through, because they're out there putting the work in, meeting the fans, interacting with the fans, and not being like pretentious assholes about it.
Right.
So yeah, like you don't see that. Sometimes you'll see bands like, we're going to be at the merch table, and they're there for 30 minutes and then boom.
And then they leave, or like go on to the next city or whatever.
Yeah.
But
like,
no, they were there the whole time.
I love that. I thought that was so fucking awesome, so cool of them to be doing that. We didn't interact with it, like I said, but
maybe next time.
I saw so many people walking around with painted up drumsticks and shit, which I'm assuming came from them.
Yeah, more likely.
And even just getting in line to say hey and hang out with them a little bit. So that was so fucking cool to see. But then we get to Tribal Gaze, the first opener for the Sepultura tour, which they played Emptying the Nest, Smiling from Their Chariots, To the Spoil of Faith, The Irreversible Sequence, Twitching on the Cross, Guarding the Illusion, Beyond Recognition is what our final song they ended on. Also, the song To the Spoils of Faith is our 666th song on our concert set list playlist on,
for this year.
On not Instagram, Spotify. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy that it's only May and we have 666 songs.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, we have more than that now, but
we were on track to have a really good year with concerts. We'll see how the year ends up, but we were on track to surpass everything we've done. But right now, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Do you remember much about them?
Yes.
Okay.
And I do have a photo for you to put in.
Oh, okay.
Because we were like, I know. Now that Brian's doing all the editing, he's
adding the photos and the editing. Yeah.
It's a lot. But they were on the second stage or the second floor stage. I think it's just called the Rave or something.
We call it the second stage. Yeah, it's like the Rave or whatever. Yeah.
But there was so much shit that there was just enough for them all to stand. And it was two on this, like a bassist and a guitarist on this side, the drum kit, and then the vocalist and a guitarist on the other side.
Because all the other gear from all the other bands.
Gear. So that's the picture that I have to have you put it in, because it shows like the very little bit that they have to stand.
Biohazard had their like side panels up.
Everything.
Still.
It was so full. But I just remember the energy that all of them had, even though they had very little space.
There were a few ARFs in their set. I thought there were a few ARFs in there, because I remember looking at you. I thought,
I don't remember that. I'm gonna have to listen to it again.
I could be getting this mixed up a little bit. I thought they had a couple ARFs
I don't remember that. I do like the music. I want to listen to them more.
Okay.
Because I did like the music, and I want it like. I feel like when you see it the first time, it's like, oh my gosh, that's, like that song was amazing. But it's like, I don't know what song that was, if that makes sense.
I kind of got definitely like a thrashy vibe from them. I was wondering if it was more of like an Anthrax-y type thrash. Because we've talked about this, like the big four. Anthrax to me always feels like the weird one in the group, where they're like the punk.
Yeah, I didn't get a punk vibe from them, though.
See, I'm trying to remember. It's been a little bit since we saw this show.
And they were the second band that we saw.
Yeah.
We're Cultist Black we had seen before, so it wasn't that big, like that much of a difference.
But yeah, no, I'm trying to think of, it definitely had more of a hardcore punky vibe to it.
Yeah,
for sure.
I guess that maybe that's where you're getting the punk is from, like the hardcore vibe. Maybe
but there's definitely like thrash in there as well.
Hardcore thrash music.
That I remember. I wasn't necessarily the biggest fan. Honestly, with the name Tribal Gaze, I was really, really hoping for like some sort of tribal aspect in the music. And when I didn't get that, I was like, oh, all right.
So you were a little disappointed going in?
I was. After seeing like Soulfly a few weeks ago, or a month ago now or something, where they have a lot more tribal aspects. And, the background there is they are from Sepultura originally. Like,
when did we see them?
Guar.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And they had a lot more tribal aspects in their music. I was hoping like, all right, Sepultura is reaching out to other maybe foreign bands, and Tribal Gaze is talking about, like, in my head, that's what I was expecting.
Okay.
And then when I didn't get that, I was like, oh, I'm a little disappointed, but I'll take this. But anything else before we move on from them? I don't have a whole lot.
No, I don't have a whole lot either. I do remember them on the stage and how small it was, and like even the vocalist would run into the drum kit.
Oh,
and
yeah,
to like readjust things and stuff. They're just, I mean, that's the part that I remember. And I did like the music. So.
Yeah. It's a very fitting song for our 666 song as well. So
sure.
I thought that was really cool.
For sure.
Next, we headed back down to the basement for Ghost Bath. And why don't you read off their extensive set list, Karen?
Is this really all they played?
This is really all they played.
Hide from the Sun, Rose Thorn Necklace, and they ended with Burial.
So at least this is what's on Setlist FM.
Yeah.
They are like 4 minutes long, 6 minutes long, and like 8 minutes long. So having, a 30-minute set in between, and maybe they jammed a little bit for those songs, I don't know. I was unfamiliar with this band, so I didn't know what to expect. I loved them, though. I know you did not.
I did not.
I fucking thought they were awesome. Why don't you describe their music then, Karen?
How I think of them?
Yeah, how do you think of them?
Noise rock, noise metal.
I get black metal with the vocals. It's just like screaming. It's like constant screaming, and I can't understand any of the lyrics.
So the vocals, yes, but the instrumentals is just. There was a band that we saw at Decibel 2 years ago and they were considered noise metal or noise.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not like the Keening, not the Keening.
No, Kenmore?
Ken Mode.
Ken Mode. Is that what it was?
I think it was Ken Mode, yeah.
But they're like noise metal, noise rock or something. And that's what it reminded me of, where it's just a whole bunch of fast guitar playing that has no synchronization or no correlation with what the other person is doing.
I disagree. To me, I would describe them as progressive black metal.
Okay.
And I told you that at the show. All right. Well, the camera died. I can't remember what my thought process was at that point, but basically, they're
You said progressive
black metal.
Progressive black metal.
Like the vocals definitely gave me the black metal vibe. And then there were moments where the riff would go into this very sort of, there was like a piano bit that was going on and they were playing.
Oh, I remember I messaged you like, is there a piano? But there wasn't.
Because you couldn't see a keyboard. The guitarist on the far side was doing something on his guitar neck. And I thought it was maybe a pedal or something that was causing it to get that tonality or whatnot from the guitar. Later on in the track, it felt more of a backtrack type thing.
Yeah, I think it was backing track.
But I could be wrong there. I don't know, but it did have that backtrack feel at that point because I would see the guitar either not doing anything and you'd still have that. So it could have been on a loop or something. I don't know how they did it. But just that sort of aspect of weaving all of that in and then the vocals coming in and just screaming, I thought that was really cool and I really enjoyed it. So I do want to listen to it. I haven't listened to it yet on recorded version to see if it comes out a little different. It reminded me a lot of KO Dot and those bands we saw on that night.
Yeah.
But better than those bands that night.
Well, sure.
I enjoyed this better than I did KO Dot or whatnot.
Yeah.
But
I just didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
I can envision them right now, still playing. It's just like the, and it's like, I don't know. I see rock music doing that. And it's like, just because you push your arm really hard doesn't mean that you're doing anything special. I don't know.
I get where you're coming from. It was definitely something more up my alley than yours, a little more out there for sure.
There were no ARFs. So.
There were no ARFs. Lots of growls, like I said. This is also, I think, the first time I noticed that they brought somebody on stage to do some of the vocal parts.
Oh, yeah.
Which I wasn't the biggest fan of that happening. And it happened throughout the night with other bands as well. There's only one other example I have that I can call out. I think it happened 3 or 4 times, but it was for Biohazard, I think, where somebody came out and sung, and it was not as good. And we'll talk about that during Biohazard. But I'm not the biggest fan when they bring out fans or other musicians necessarily.
Yeah.
So I don't know if these were just fans or if these were actual musicians. That's the thing I could not tell.
Yeah.
But this was the first time of the day where it kind of happened.
I feel like with this time that they brought somebody out, the person who came out was in the crowd rest of the night.
Oh, really?
So was it a fan?
It may have been.
Was it somebody in a band, but just
they
in
did
the crowd?
The meet and greets or something beforehand, I don't know.
Yeah. Very interesting.
A band that Ghost Bath is a band that I'm gonna listen to more of in the near future. You not so much. But then we head back upstairs, as I said, to Biohazard. I did not realize it was this close.
Yeah,
so
we're almost done. Yeah.
you didn't want to see Biohazard.
It's not that I didn't want to see them. I was trying to save my legs, and we did see them the first year of Milwaukee Metal Fest, and I remember not
Enjoying them as much.
it wasn't like, oh my god, I can't wait to see them again. So
Yeah. Well, their set list was Urban Discipline, Shades of Grey, Wrong Side of the Tracks, Fuck the System, Black and White and Red All Over, Eyes on Six, and they ended with Punishment. And like I said, I can't remember what point somebody came out and sung. And I think this was a fan because they let him try to sing, and the dude is singing and he's singing fine. But you can tell he's not used to singing on stage with a mic because he's singing far back from the mic and you can't really hear him. And they're coming up to him like, hey, let's try to get our faces closer to it. And like there's one point where they're singing together on the same mic, like you got to get closer to the mic to sing. And then they'd go back and he wouldn't. And they just sort of like look at each other and like laugh, and not actually like laugh at him, but like just laugh at the moment. And like, this is fucking awesome. This dude's having the time of his life. He's fucking like, let this guy fucking rock and just have his fun. I did like seeing that and just seeing the joy on the band's faces at a fan coming up and just fucking crushing their song.
Yeah.
Even though he's not necessarily singing into the mic, and just being like, you know what? Fuck it. This guy, let him have his fun. Let him have his moment. This is fucking awesome. I did enjoy seeing that. I really did. But typically I don't like when they bring fans on to sing the songs.
I remember we saw 3 Days Grace in Denver, and they brought fans on to sing.
That's right. They did like the sing-off.
And that really drunk girl who couldn't sing was there.
I was in the bathroom or getting a beer or something, so I missed that entire segment. So I don't remember
horrible. That was like,
I remember it, but I don't.
That was just a waste of time. like please. But so I sat in the bar area.
So and then I went over.
But I could hear everything. I mean, I could hear it just fine. I just couldn't see the stage. Yeah. So I don't have any of those. Like, I wouldn't know who's singing or anything like that. So.
Right. I don't remember seeing them at Milwaukee Metal Fest.
Okay.
You said we did when we got there, and it's like,
they were like,
you say so.
The first
day
night.
Headliner.
We stayed for maybe 4 songs or 5 songs, then we left.
I enjoyed this set. Okay. I thought this was a lot of fun. I think I came in during Shades of Grey because we were outside.
Oh, we were,
relaxing for a little bit, cooling off for a bit. So I came in during that song. I don't know their shit. I really enjoyed their set. I enjoyed their sound. Again, more of that sort of punky thrash sort of sound to it.
Maybe that's the part that I don't like is the
punky sort of thrash.
Yeah.
But
I want Metallica thrash. No, I'm joking.
But I really, really enjoyed their set, and it's like shit. Because I also, again, like I said, I don't remember seeing them at Milwaukee Metal Fest, and I do remember leaving early that first night or something, or whenever it was. That wasn't when our car got broken into. That was during Anthrax that our car got broken into.
No, it was that night that our car got broken into.
Was it? Are you sure? I could have swore it was the Anthrax night.
When was Anthrax playing?
I don't know.
It was that night that our car got broken into. And then the next day was shitty. And then Sunday, we went home. Or we saw Lamb of God and then went home. If I remember right. Lamb of God ended it.
Whatever. We have a vlog we can watch.
We do.
I'm pretty sure it was Anthrax, but we'll see. In any case, I liked this set quite a bit. I would see them again for sure.
Okay.
I'd drag you along.
I would see them again. It was nothing. I was just trying to break up the day.
Okay. So, I thought you were basically saying like, no, I don't want to see them because I don't like them.
Oh, no.
That's how I got your vibe of telling me no.
Sorry. I think I remember saying like, we've seen them before. I'm just going to sit in the bar sort of thing. It wasn't like, oh, I hated them. I don't want to see them again.
Okay. I took it as.
It's not Devin Townsend.
That's sure. Fine. Whatever. It's not Devin Townsend. All right. Well, then we head down to the basement for Suffocation. And Karen's going to read off the Milwaukee set list first. And we did find one from a previous show that looks like it was a bit longer.
They start with Seraphim Enslavement, Pierced from Within, Funeral Inception, Liege of Inversity, I think, Infecting the Crypts. So they played 5 songs.
Yeah, that was
very, very bad.
Reading the words.
Yes, English is hard.
Yeah, that was the set we saw. And then they had a longer set, which looks like this was from DC, Washington, DC.
Yeah, so the first night of the tour, I think.
Which was what?
May 11th. Oh. Yeah. So in DC, they played Seraphim Enslavement, Pierce from Within, Effigy of the Forgotten, Thrones of Blood, Catatonia, Breeding the Spawn, Funeral Inception, Liege of Adversity, and Infecting the Crypts. So they had 4 more songs.
4 additional songs, yeah. So definitely an abridged set that we got.
Yeah. And they did make a comment. I think I said that already at the beginning, but they made a comment of like, sorry, we have a shorter set tonight or a small set tonight or whatever.
Definitely just a deathcore band also.
Yeah, they're a band that we've never seen. I don't remember ever even listening to them, but a band that I've known about.
Okay.
Or like known the logo and, like heard of them and stuff. Yeah. Just, I don't know why I've never listened to them or whatever, but definitely a band down my alley.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is like right up your alley, so I'm surprised that you haven't come across them before, like on a playlist
Maybe
or
on
something.
Maybe on a playlist or something, I just didn't recognize it or whatever. Probably, more than likely. But I don't know, my Spotify, I feel like, is not giving me new songs anymore. It's just the same bands over and over and over.
It happens a little bit. Yeah. You have to like find one of these bands to like listen to it straight up.
Yeah, and then
let it shuffle, and then you'll get some of the other stuff squeaked in there as well.
Yeah, because like now I don't get a lot. I mean, I don't get like Shadow Intent very often. There's a lot of bands I don't get very often that I was getting, so I do need to do that. Probably like listen to a few songs. Yeah.
It wasn't a bad set. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed their set. Their energy on the stage was fucking awesome. The crowd was great as well. More crowd surfers going over and all that kind of shit. Oh yeah, so many
crowd surfers.
It was fun. It was really fun to see and watch. We definitely weren't in the crowd. We were off to the side.
Off to the side, yeah.
But again, I think it's the venue itself. Like it's that room. Not my favorite room.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the basement.
No, I like the bar. Then the bar's probably my second, and then the main ballroom is my next.
So when we went, we were in the basement for Orbit Culture when we went. We had a whole episode, I believe, on that. But we stood by our boat fronts, and they were kind of by like on stage left by the middle pole.
The middle pillar, yeah.
Yeah, and I kind of liked that area because you weren't necessarily in the pit, but you were close enough to see what's going on, and every once in a while get jostled. Well, I did anyways because I was a little bit further up than you, and you could see the stage very, very well.
The difference here with this particular setup was we couldn't really get there because that was already filled in.
Yeah, it was.
Because
everybody went straight there.
Yeah, if you're staring at the stage, or if you're right by that same pillar or whatnot, and you're looking at the stage, to your right is those French doors that take you up to the staircase to go outside into the bar and into the second stage. And it was just that one staircase for up and down.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that.
No, we did not.
We learned very quickly after Cultist Black to hang back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're funneling through 3 doors, but it goes to the same staircase. So you're not going anywhere. It's like one of those like, you're just funneling.
And it's just a bottleneck. Yeah. You can't get through it that well.
Because they had the second staircase shut down because that's where they were taking people who were still coming in, getting security and new tickets.
That line goes right up to the box office to get your ticket scanned, and then that leads you out to the beer garden.
And then you come around and come back. Yeah.
Which is a similar setup for Milwaukee Metal Fest.
It is.
The difference there is Milwaukee Metal Fest, where the basement is, that's typically the merch.
Yeah. So you don't have that big funneling every 30 minutes.
Exactly. So that's why I wish they would have done, the ballroom and this stage.
Yeah.
I get that maybe they didn't sell enough tickets for the ballroom, but I wish they had a way to consolidate that ballroom down to make it fill.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Maybe don't use the main stage, but make a impromptu stage.
A small stage.
Going 90 degrees from it.
Because like sometimes at Milwaukee Metal Fest, especially early in the day, or even like 2 years ago or whatever, when Slaughter performed, like it was not full at all.
Well, last year too, like the headliners, like I feel like it's not selling that well because by the time the headliner goes on, it's kind of packed in the center, but on the wings, it's not that many people.
I mean, there's plenty of room. Yeah. Like even Slaughter, like I was really close to the stage, just off to the side. But yeah, like I don't know, like I just felt like there was too many people for the basement and the second stage.
I agree with that for sure. I do wish they had moved around just a little bit.
Which I wonder how capacity works when they do something like that, because technically they probably shouldn't sell more than the capacity of the basement stage.
Right.
But do they sell the capacity of the second stage and then
it's interesting,
think like, oh, some people might stay in the basement or some people might be outside, or like I don't know how that works.
We did the whole thing with the like Travis Barker Astroworld documentary where we talked about that, and I think this was a topic that came up during that conversation as well, of you have 2 stages. They set capacity, but was that for both stages? Was that for one stage? And then you had the whole like funneling from one stage to the other because it was only used for Travis Scott that first day. So blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I remember that the Travis Scott documentary because they said like the stage where he performed only held like 35,000 or 30,000, but they sold 50,000 plus whoever broke in.
Right. Because are you counting both stages then?
Yeah. So, yeah.
And that's like, if you don't make it in, you don't make it in. But the thing is, people don't, they're not sitting there counting. So it's interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting concept. It'd be fun to kind of get a job at one of these, or, you know, like talk to somebody or something like, how does that all work?
The business side of things, I wish I knew more about for sure. Anything else for Suffocation?
No, I'm surprised that we haven't seen them yet. For one, like on some bill somewhere or a festival or something. Maybe they have been on a festival bill and we just haven't seen them.
Check out their stage. It's possible.
Yeah, so definitely a band that I want to see again, but you're probably,
I'll go see them. Again, I liked the music. It's just not my go-to style. Ghost Bath, for sure. More of my go-to style, for sure. Anywho, let's move on to Exodus and their set list.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were reading all the Sepultura set lists, and I was reading all the other ones.
No, I was not.
So that's how we've been doing it.
I can read it then, yeah.
So they started with 3111. I don't know how to...
3111. I don't know how to say that either. Yeah.
3,111.
Sure. Many ways to say that number.
Bonded by Blood, Death Amphetamine, Blacklist, Goliath, A Lesson in Violence, The Toxic Waltz, and they ended with Strike of the Beast.
So I think we came in during Bonded by Blood, and then I think we went out to look for food or think about getting food.
Yeah, we ended up
just
not buying
before
anything.
The Toxic Waltz. Yeah. We've seen Exodus a number of times, so that was interesting. But this is the first time we've seen them with the new old singer.
New old singer, yeah.
Because we saw, I think every time we've seen them, it's been with Zetro.
Yes, yep, it has.
So what do you think of Rob, their new old singer?
I liked the voice better, the vocals better than Zetro. We have talked about that before, especially with our friend Jerry from Iowa and stuff as well. That I'm like, there's just something about his vocals I just can't. I mean, I liked
his being Zetro's.
Yes, yeah, and like I liked how Zetro performed and like the energy and everything like that. Like, and he's a great, awesome guy. Like we met him during one of the Rave tours and stuff like that during Milwaukee Metal Fest. But I like the vocals of Rob better.
Yeah, this is one of those things where you meet them outside, just like a random encounter. Or this was the Rave tour for one of the Milwaukee Metal Fests. He was the special guest tour guide with us, and just getting to hang out with him and chat with Zetro. It gave me a new love and appreciation for him. And it's the same thing with Miles from Ice Nine Kills, where I was on Ice Nine Kills. They're like, all right, whatever, they're fine, but they're not that great. But then you meet Miles, or we met Miles, and he's just so fucking chill and down to earth. I'm like, fuck it. I am a huge Ice Nine Kills fan because of that personal interaction. Same thing with Zetro. Like, I've never met Rob. Rob might be super fucking chill and super cool as well. But I met Zetro, and he was fucking awesome. So I prefer Zetro because of that personal interaction. I get what you're saying with the vocals.
Yeah.
There's just something that you hear the vocals, you're like,
it was different.
I don't like that. Sort of like Knocked Loose. Those vocals, you can't deal with those vocals for you personally.
Yeah, definitely.
Where I kind of sort of understand that with you and Zetro being like, the vocals they're not there for me. But having that personal interaction, it's like...
I've had that ever since we saw the Exodus with Creator at Radius.
Oh, yeah.
Like one of the first shows we saw at Radius, I think. And I was just like...
No, that was at the Vic. The Creator was at the Vic with Exodus. Yeah.
Oh.
I think you're thinking of the Black Label Society Anthrax.
Oh, maybe it was Anthrax.
Yeah, because that's another vocalist. You're not.
But after seeing Anthrax with Slayer in London, I'm like, okay, I like this.
Really?
So maybe it's kind of like you with Amon Amar.
It just takes a moment.
The more you see it, the more you enjoy it. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not listening to Anthrax anytime soon.
Right. But you've seen their set enough times where it's like it's starting to click.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see that. I could possibly see that. Their set was fucking awesome. Rob's energy was fucking awesome. The whole band was fucking awesome. When we did go outside and sort of, relax, cooled off a little bit, there were a couple women that came over and they're like, I just was in the pit for the Toxic Waltz. And like, she was so fucking excited for that. Like, it was really cool to see. Good set though. Good set. Yeah, but not a whole lot more for me to say about Exodus other than like, it was our first time seeing it with Rob. It was the same old Exodus show with a new singer that you prefer a little bit better.
No, I'm not saying I prefer him.
But you do say that. You like the vocals better.
I like better.
So you prefer...
The performance of Jethro, I prefer more.
Fine. All right. Fine.
It's a 50-50.
Sure. Okay. Let's head back down to the basement for our final act of the night in the basement. The headliner, Cradle of Filth. And their set list was what, Karen?
They played To Live Deliciously, Demagoguery.
Sure. Why not? Nocturnal Supremacy.
Thank you. Malignant Perfection, The Principle of Evil Made Flesh, How Many Tears to Nurture a Rose, Nephetamine, White Hellborn, and then they had an encore of The Promise of Fever, Cruelty Brought the Orchids, and they ended with Her Ghost in the Fog.
And there's a few like intro tracks and whatnot that I ended up adding if they were on there because they're like longer songs as well. So like The Bruises Upon the Silent Moon, I think I
was playing in between the
main set and the encore.
Yeah,
it wasn't like a real encore. I don't feel like it was because you had like the intro tracks and whatnot playing the entire time.
Do you remember when they went off the stage the first time?
A little bit.
And everybody was like shouting like one more song, and you're like, it's been like 30 minutes. They're definitely playing another song.
Because we knew the set time, and we knew they got like an hour and 20 minutes or something.
Hour and 15, hour 20, yeah.
Something like that. And it was like 40 minutes in. And like, they're taking a break. And the crowd was chanting like one more song. Yeah. I was like, but I mean, they're playing more than one more song.
Rest of the day, everybody only got like 30 minutes, so.
I guess, yeah. But the times are posted up on the stairs.
Yeah. But not everybody listened to that. Or
I guess. This is our third time seeing Cradle of Filth, right?
I think so.
The first time at the House of Blues, where there was a snake in the crowd, and then last year at Chaos.
Sometimes when we're in crowds, I think like, does somebody have a snake? Yeah.
But then the next time was last year at Chaos and Carnage, and then obviously this time for number 3. They were one of my big bands when I first started getting into metal music and whatnot back in high school, and I loved them so much. And I've told the story before, I'll tell it again, but like when I found them, there's a kid in high school who brought a Cradle of Filth CD, and he didn't know what it was in German, and he's like, I got this from the college kids in town or something, but I don't know how he got it. He's like, it's kind of shitty. And I was like, oh, I'll listen to it. So I popped it in my CD player. I listened to it there in like art class, and only listened like 30 seconds, and it's like very melodic sort of intro with pianos and everything, and then it goes super fucking hard. I'm like, holy fuck, this is awesome. Take my headphones off. I'm like, this shit is fucking awesome. This is so good. And the kid who like threw it over to me, he's like, no, it's not. This is fucking shit music. And he takes it out of my CD player, takes one of those knives for like model kits and whatnot, and starts slashing the fucking back, takes a permanent marker and starts drawing all over it. I think I have this somewhere in the house. I can't find it right now, but I have it somewhere. And just like scratching it and tearing it apart so I can't listen to it. And I end up going home, cleaning it up, putting it in the CD player, and getting like 30 seconds of this song. And this was back in the day when there wasn't like Google Translate or anything, so I'm typing like the German words into Google and hitting search, and nothing's like popping up that I want to help me translate this. It took me forever to find it, but I finally figured out that it was Cradle of Filth. I can't remember what CD it was or anything, but the whole like process of like decoding this thing and whatnot. And that's how I got into Cradle of Filth. I was like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. And they were great. And then I sort of got out of metal, and I haven't really dabbled back into Cradle of Filth. Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you played Cradle of Filth for me?
Was it Nephetamine or was it Stay?
Stay.
Right, because you liked the Shakespeare Sisters.
No, I didn't like them. We did a poetry thing in school, and our teacher used Stay as like the example.
Gotcha.
And we read it, and then we read it in a different tone, and it was a whole thing of like, depending on what tone you read it in is the emotion you get out of it.
Oh, gotcha.
So, and then we watched the music video, and I went home and I was like, oh, I really like this song, and I played it for you, and then you're like, that's Cradle of Filth. I'm like, no, it's not. And like, so then you played me Cradle of Filth, which has the Shakespeare Sisters in it.
Does it really?
I believe so.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I believe it's Cradle of Filth and the Shakespeare
Is it really?
Sisters.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
That's one song I would like to hear live, but we've only seen them play three times. I don't think that's one that they
No, probably
typically
not.
often play.
Yeah.
Nephetamine's sort of the soft song that they wove in. That and Hallowed Be Thy Name, their cover from Iron Maiden. I would love to hear that live.
Because like the Stay song, which I know we should probably be talking about the songs that they actually played, but I mean, kind of like what you were saying, like how it's melodic and stuff, and it's like that where the Shakespeare sisters are singing, and then all of a sudden it's like
Danny Filth and his like screams and
like the death growls. It's so good.
Yeah. This set was fine.
Yeah, I wish it was on the second stage.
Yeah.
But it was interesting how the crowd was, I guess. Like, because it didn't seem like there was a pit for a while. And then
I don't think there was one for a while.
It definitely did open up, and then people were crowd surfing and stuff, just like they were all day. But it was just a different vibe. And we were off to the side.
Yeah.
Which was cool because then we could see, but I don't know.
It was a fine performance. I think the one at the House of Blues is still my favorite performance from them, even though I can't really remember it all that well, but I do remember enjoying it.
Or sometimes when you see the first, or see them for the first time, then it's...
And I was like super excited to see them too. Yeah. Last year at Chaos and Carnage, that felt like just a weird set.
It was very weird.
I thought Danny was a little pissed off at the crowd. Not pissed at the crowd, but like, you can give me more energy than you are giving me.
It was a really interesting crowd, which I don't... Well, maybe at the beginning it was like that, but I feel like the crowd got into it and stuff. But it was really different going from pits all day long to nothing, I guess. And I guess whenever we talk about this, like, we're not in the pits.
Yeah.
But, like,
but we like to
it's
be
still
by
the energy
if we can.
of the crowd and stuff,
Pretty standard set list, honestly. Nephetamine was in there, and Her Ghost in the Fog was in there.
Yeah.
Again, they played a lot of shit that I'm not super familiar with, but there's only like 2 or 3 albums of theirs that I'm like super familiar with. Her Ghost in the Fog and Nephetamine. Nephetamine's about where I started like duck out from Cradle, Filth. Okay. So, but it was a fun set. Nevertheless, I'm glad we got to see them again.
I'm glad we got to go see them because I mean we didn't end up going to Chaos and Carnage, but we would have missed it here in Chicago either way.
Seeing them at Bottom Lounge would be interesting. Yeah. I like that venue better than the basement of the Rave.
I would agree there too.
So it would have been a funner, not the right word. It would have been a better experience for us there for sure. Plus, I don't know how much more time they get on that stage as well.
That's
Do
true.
they get more of a set?
What was their actual set or their headlining set list?
Which we can take a look at that possibly.
I mean, they headlined the stage, but not the whole concert.
But yeah, I think that's going to wrap it up for Cradle of Filth. Let's head to our main stage, or the second stage, and our main headliner, Sepultura, the last act of the night for us. And
oh, wow, they played a lot.
They did play a lot. Why don't you read off what their set list was?
They played Inner Self, Beneath the Remains, Desperate Cry, Kairos, Means to an End, Attitude, The Vatican, The Place, Choke, Escape to the Void, Kiowas, Beyond the Dream, Dead Embryonic Cells, Slave New World, Territory, Refuse Resist, Arise, Ratamahata, and then they ended with Roots, Bloody Roots.
Of course.
Yeah. Which, honestly, Refuse and Resist and Roots, Bloody Roots are like the 2 songs I know of theirs. And I knew that they were going to be at the end. Yeah. So it was kind of like when we decided to go to Milwaukee to see this, because we were talking about not going at all. And we were like, oh, we'll just leave, partway through Sepultura's set. I was like, oh, I'm not going to hear the 2 songs that I want to hear. But I knew that we weren't going to. I mean, if we made it all the way, that probably would have been 11 o'clock.
When they played in Chicago at their final tour, did they play Roots, Bloody Roots? Mm-hmm. I don't think they did.
They didn't?
I can't remember, because that would have been the year, if they did, I would have heard Roots, Bloody Roots played by 3 different bands within the same year. I don't think they did.
And I remember you making that comment.
Because Metallica played it when they were here in Chicago with like the Kurt and Rob Doodle. Ministry played it at their show I saw. And then I was super excited to hear Sepultura play it, and I don't think they did.
There's another band that plays it. But we didn't hear it that year. Sorry, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of the first time I heard Roots, Bloody Roots.
It must have been Sepultura.
No. Because it was another band that was playing it.
Oh, then it must have been Ministry.
Maybe.
because that's another big one Ministry always plays too.
Yeah. But I feel like I heard it on Spotify, and then you were like, oh,
Okay.
that's a Sepultura song. I don't know.
Maybe, whatever.
I'm not going to remember.
I did put all these though on our set list, even though we left like 4 songs in.
Yeah. We've heard them all.
We didn't stick around that long again because we had the drive
Yeah.
home.
What did we leave? Like maybe around Attitude or something?
Something like that. Yeah, somewhere in there.
5 or 6 songs in.
Again, it was fucking packed in that room. So many people there to see it. The energy again was super fucking awesome, like always. For a band that is calling it quits and putting an end to it, they're very fucking busy. They've got a lot of touring they've been doing. They've got new music coming out. So this whole like we're done as a band, we're doing our final tour. The whole name celebrating life through death or whatever the fuck it is, like, are you really calling it quits or is this just like sort of marketing type thing?
Well, and that's what we thought when they announced that they were doing another tour, and we're like, well, we already went to their final tour,
Right?
But I don't know.
Which is why I thought it'd be cool to see it here in Chicago as well. It's like we just saw your final tour in Chicago 2 years ago, yet you're back again. So who knows if they do call it quits or when they call it quits. I wish we had the ability to stick around for all of it, but at the same time, we've seen it before. They're a fun band. But yeah.
I just looked up. It was May 15th that they were here in Chicago. So it was the day between Lorna Shore and
Dark Lord.
And we were like, if we see Sepultura, that's 3 long shows all at once.
Right, and we were willing to do that.
Yeah.
So we were going to do it, but then we saw it was at the Rave.
Yep.
And we're like, fuck it, let's go to the Rave and also be able to Cradle Filth.
Yep.
See both of them.
Yeah, that's what stopped, or why we didn't go to this one.
And also go see Chaos and Carnage.
Yes.
Was sort of the thought process there. Yep.
Yeah, anyways.
Anywho.
Yeah, we don't have much to say about Sepultura, though, because we didn't stay very long.
We did a whole episode when we did see them on their final tour. That's some number ago or whatnot.
Yeah. I do remember them playing a long time, like 2 hours.
Yes. And I remember them starting late.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Which this one, for that final tour. Yeah. I kind of have a vague memory of that.
Yeah.
This one, though, again, everybody's going off on the time they had to hit. So that was super awesome.
Yeah, they did do a really good job of staying on time. But yeah, if we would have stayed for this, we wouldn't have started heading home until 11 or later. And then 2 hours to get home. Yeah, that would have been a horrible Friday.
For
or
you,
Monday. It was Monday. Because
this was Sunday.
Sunday. And I had an 8 a.m. meeting on Monday, so.
In any case, like, we got to see 2 tours in one day for a very, very good price.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
$26?
$26, yeah. Even with the fees and stuff, it was
$40 a
perfect.
ticket. Yeah.
Perfect.
So, very good price for 2 concerts.
Anytime we can save money on tickets.
Yes. Yeah. And the Rave does this all the time where they do the BOGO deals and whatnot. Yeah. So, and sometimes they give you free tickets. So
yeah, I did see the blue tickets for this. So people did get free tickets to
I saw those too.
We didn't get them though, did we? Or did we?
I don't think we did.
Oh.
No, I don't think we did. We did for Avatar. We bought Avatar tickets and then got free ones.
We got free ones
for that show.
Yeah, and then we didn't go to Avatar.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, like I said, great fucking show. And like anytime you can get out and see live music, that's just a win, honestly. Yeah. So
it'd be nice if the Rave did more of this, where like it's 2 concerts into one or something.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I don't think
you didn't like it.
No, I think I would have just preferred them as individual shows.
I liked it.
It made it for a very long day.
It was a long day,
and the fact that we had to drive, didn't help. And the fact there and back, and the fact that it was Dark Lord Day the day before also didn't help. Yeah. But sure, these longer shows on like a Saturday, I'm fine with that. On a Sunday, questionable. But Saturday would fit perfect for me for sure. A little mini fest type thing.
We didn't talk about it on here, but we met a Instagram friend that we've been friends with for 3 to 4 years.
Oh yes, on the way up
to the show.
He was there the night before for Amon Amarth Death Club.
Yeah.
Which there's a lot of chatter in the crowd about that. We talked about that on last week's episode in like the headlines, or 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago now.
As of this posting. But that was like the show that had the smoke alarms go off because of the smoke machines. And we had mentioned in that episode, we had a little conversation like, I don't think Death Clock uses smoke machines. They don't even have lights or lasers or anything. All they have is the screen. Right? This doesn't make any sense to us. But then I saw a bunch of videos and our own videos Sure enough, they use smoke machines
Yeah.
and lights.
I don't know where we were during the entire performance, but we did not see lights or smoke.
We're focusing on the screen,
Yeah, I
I
think
think.
so.
So like
I
all
think
that other stuff is just something
Yeah.
like
It's just happening.
fades away.
Yeah.
I don't notice that because
Yeah.
I'm focused on the screen
Yeah.
and what's happening on like the animation and whatnot.
Yeah.
That's what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were clearly fucking wrong on
We were.
that.
Yeah. So we're correcting it here right now.
Yeah, we are correcting
If
it
you
here right
listen to
now.
the end, but
If anybody leaves comments, you're like, no, they do use that. We'll be like, give it
okay,
2 weeks and you'll hear
listen
us.
Listen in 2 weeks to episode
Yeah.
191.
Yeah, we'll correct ourselves
Yeah.
there.
But anyways, I was gonna say, like, on our way up there, we stopped at a random Culver's. I was walking out, just happened to recognize this guy that we've never met in person, but we've talked for 3 to 4 years on Instagram, and I was like, you know, we just had a quick little conversation or whatever. But I don't know, it's fun to run into people.
Now we know each other's faces, so
Yeah,
hopefully, like
yeah.
we've been at other shows, the same shows
Yes,
that he's been
yeah.
at, and he's walked like right by us
Yes.
before as well.
Yeah, yeah. But I'm like, I think that was him, but I don't know.
Yeah,
And even
yep.
when I saw him, I was like, "Are you so and so?" Like I felt so awkward doing it because I'm like, this. If you say no, I'm gonna be like, "Oh shit." But we love seeing people.
Yeah.
In real life. So if you see us at a concert, come say hi.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely do that. I was trying to wrap it up, but then Karen
Sorry.
said go ahead and say hi to us.
So go see
but
some live music.
yeah, we'll see you out there. And say hi to us if you see us at the show.
Bye.